Is Marcus Rashford bigger than Manchester United? Does he feel like he's bigger than Manchester United? Yes, there is a question mark in that title, people. It's a debate. We're going to discuss it. It's not my sole opinion. I'm reporting the news and what Samuel Luckhurst of the MEN has reported about Rashford. And maybe not just him, his people actually unhappy with the football club and how they've handled this whole situation. God forbid anybody goes out on their own and has an interview without the club knowing. Oh, no, don't do that. Merry Christmas. Some people say I'm more like the Grinch when I put this hat on, but it is red. United are red. We're not great at the moment, but we're not letting them ruin our Christmas anyway. Get into the live chat, people. Let me know what you're thinking. We've got plenty to talk about Marcus Rashford's replacement already as well. Big news on Victor Osimhen. We're going to talk about that as well as our failing striker in Marcus Rashford, whatever you want to call him, or however you want to title him. He is a problem right now for Ruben Amorim, along with quite a lot of other things. Let's not even get into Man United's hygiene rating right now. God, man alive, like what is going on at Old Trafford? All of the news, all of your updates, everything that's going on right now, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Merry Christmas, everybody. It is Christmas Eve. If you listen to Phoebe from Friends, we are kickstarting the Christmas period this evening with all of your Manchester United updates. Transfers with the window literally a week away. Ooh, get excited, everybody. Subscribe, be a friend, and like the video. And let's get cracking in the live chat. Give me your comments, everybody. How are you feeling? Are you ready? Is Christmas all prepared? Is everything set for the big day? Have you got your Christmas presents in? What would be the biggest Christmas present for you as a Manchester United fan? Getting a striker in would be lovely. We're going to talk about that. But right now, we do have forwards at our football club, but they are the problem childs of the club right now. Marcus Rashford, Garnacho. We're leaving Garnacho aside right now because Ruben Amorim has come out with some big-ass quotes on Marcus Rashford. So before I get into what Samuel Luckhurst has been reporting, I want to talk about what is actually going on with the man himself, Mr. Ruben Amorim, because Chris Wheeler from the Daily Mail has come out with several quotes, amongst other people as well, about what Ruben Amorim has said regarding Marcus Rashford and the situation right now. This is the last 20 minutes, people, so this is pretty much breaking and completely up to date for you. So, Chris Wheeler from the Daily Mail has said, Amorim questions the influence Rashford's camp have over him, and the unsettled United star said he is ready for a new challenge. So basically, the influences people have around him in what he says and what he does. Completely on board with this. We read on. I've got more to come. I understand that these players have a lot of people around them and they sometimes make choices that are not the first idea for the player. This guy knows. Ruben is the man. He knows. How many times have I talked about Marcus Rashford and Marcus Rashford's people? If it's a professional footballer and you've got friends around you and you are, if they are friends, if they are people that have got the best interests of this player at heart, and everybody keeps on having a go at me for having a go at Marcus Rashford, but if these people had the best interest of Marcus Rashford at heart, would you not be telling him to get back to Manchester and train rather than necking another tequila shot? Yes, you would, wouldn't you? Because you're thinking of the player and not yourself and how much he is going to fund your night out. This is what happens with players, honestly. He doesn't help himself, Marcus Rashford, but my God, this guy has got the worst entourage and people around him ever in Premier League history, in the club's history, whatever you want to call it. They're not good for him, are they? We read on. Chris Wheeler also says, and what Ruben Amorim was saying is, it's a hard situation. I am always here to help Marcus as other players. They have to do what they have to do. They choose to do the interview because it's not just Marcus. I understand that. They. Talking about they. So when we're talking about Marcus Rashford, his attitude, he has got an attitude, but that's built upon by his people around him. Like, you get beat in the derby. Let's go out and carry on having this party. You don't need to worry about Manchester United. We're still going to do it. All he does is go home and everyone around him says, let's do this, Marcus, because it best suits them, not him. He just needs to realise. I think even his mum has reported at times that she is worried and concerned about the people that he's hanging around with. Honestly, like, they run his life. His brother is the biggest disgrace out of all of them. He's more of a disgrace than what Marcus Rashford is in how he advises this player. He really is. Honestly, he is the main issue right now for Marcus Rashford, and Rashford just leeches onto everything. He can't think for himself. And this is, you know what, there's probably more players like this right now out there. There really is. As a coach, I focus on performance and the way he trains. The rest, it is better for me and the club to deal with that when the time comes. We need a talented guy like Marcus in this moment. I forgot the interview now and see what I see on the pitch. The interview is gone. Let's make that clear. That's Ruben Amorim, quote unquote, saying he's forgotten about the interview. So clearly, there is an issue with Marcus Rashford right now at Carrington beyond that interview. He's done it. He's upset a few people. He's been punished for it. He's been dealt with. He's back in training. He wouldn't be training if there was an issue. And this is the problem we've got right now. So what I said yesterday, and Rashford is a disgrace in the fact that Ruben Amorim has come out and said there's no issue with the interview anymore. It's now just up to Marcus Rashford to come back in, train, work hard and be part of this team. He clearly doesn't want to do that. If there is people telling him that he doesn't want to do that, oh my God, like there's no hope for the guy. There really isn't. But he's made it even clearer, Ruben Amorim, that he has not got an issue with everything else going on. They will deal with it in time. Right now he's focusing on the team, but it doesn't look like the team are focused on what Ruben Amorim wants. And Marcus Rashford is at the top of that list. And that's why he's not in the matchday squads. Ruben Amorim has just called him out again. I focus on what the players do in training and that's it. We'll deal with the interview and me and the club will deal with everything else at the time necessary to deal with that. But right now he needs his players. He needs that talented player in his squad. He doesn't want to be part of his squad. I think that's quite clear because he's been dropped from 3 matchday squads now. So something clearly is wrong behind the scenes with this and is a major issue with Marcus Rashford going on. So when it comes to what's actually happening elsewhere as well now, and I think that this is Marcus Rashford's people. And when I asked the question in the title, you would automatically assume that it's me having a go at Marcus Rashford again. No, I've asked the question. Does Marcus Rashford think he's bigger than Manchester United? Because reports coming out from Samuel Luckhurst say Rashford's unhappy that Manchester United alerted clubs that he would be available for a transfer. Manchester United insists they haven't held any Rashford-specific conversations. So Jim Radcliffe and other senior figures at Manchester United will leave the decision over Marcus Rashford's future with the club completely in the hands of Ruben Amorim. Marcus Rashford is unhappy that Manchester United signed up potential buyers for the forward without informing him. Sources close to Rashford have accused United of informing clubs of the 27-year-old's availability and that he was unaware of the developments. Fuck off. Honestly, you look at this two ways. You can see that as Marcus Rashford being a tit, or you can say that his people are just running their mouths without him knowing. And again, falling into what Ruben Amorim has just said there. Quote unquote, it is not just Marcus Rashford. It's the people that are around them as well. The advisors, the entourage, the people telling him this is the best for his career. Which is complete and utter nonsense. And we've seen it right now. He wants to concentrate on what he's doing with the team right now, Ruben Amorim. And Rashford's not on board. It's clearly his head is elsewhere. Otherwise, he would be in the team. It's clear he would be in the team because Ruben has opened it up for him. He let Garnacho back in. Yeah, he's not performing well, but he's back in because he's knuckling down in training, it would seem, or you would hope anyway. But with Marcus Rashford, there is clearly other issues at hand and is a big problem for Ruben Amorim. I mean, I'm coming straight into the chat on this one. So you tell me, like, am I backing up the wrong tree here when it comes to Marcus Rashford? Am I saying things out of turn here? I just feel like, and I've always said it, and you can go back to previous videos from earlier on in the year to everything else that I've said about Marcus Rashford. His entourage, his people, his advisors, whoever you want to call, they are the ones that are probably the biggest issue because he didn't start off this way. He became this player at Manchester United because United fell into the trap in building a player up to be something he's not. And now it just seems like Marcus Rashford's representatives have got a grip on this football club somehow and they can do what they want or feel like they can do what they want. It's an absolute joke. It really is. A couple of super chats straight off the bat. One from the Honest Tiger. Hi Adam, it's been 12 months to Moz since Ineos took over. Do you think we was better before the takeover or better now? Keep up the great work. Good question, that Honest Tiger. I I honestly feel like we are in a better place because we got this situation we're talking about now, which is eradicating the player FC culture of Manchester United, which was there a year ago. But now it seems that we're making a stance, so you have to automatically say that we are in a better place and we are acting like a proper football club again. Another super chat in from Thomas McArdle. Thank you, buddy. Rashford believes he's better than he is. I think that is true. I wouldn't say that Marcus Rashford thinks he's bigger than the football club. I think his people fully believe that Marcus Rashford is bigger than what he is, and they can do what they want because of previous experiences of getting their own way at Manchester United. I think they can manipulate things. Like when Rashford had his Belfast episode and he didn't come in for training because he was ill because of being on a night out. Like, he didn't come in on his own and deal with it in the manager. It was well reported that his brother and agent came in with him to negotiate something. Lo and behold, the next game, Marcus Rashford starting in that match against Wolves. And everybody's asking the question, like, can he just do what he wants? If you've gone out and you are not able to train because you are drunk or overcooked from the night before, unwell, whatever it may be, you've come back late on a private jet and you're not able to train. You imagine that happening under Sir Alex Ferguson or a bigger manager at Manchester United? Honestly, no. It's, say, for instance, right now, if Rashford did this, there was nothing going on with Marcus Rashford at all. We had no history, no misdemeanours, no disciplinaries. Ruben Amorim's the manager, the coach, and Marcus Rashford did what he did to Ten Hag last season. Ruben Amorim, under Ineos, would have Marcus Rashford out. He would be gone. Ten Hag and no power and no one supporting him behind, and the ineptitude and the uselessness of what we had running this football club just bowed down to Marcus Rashford's people yet again, and Ten Hag puts him straight back in the side because he has got a moment in him, and Ten Hag had given up on his whole philosophy and needed players to pull him out of the shit every now and then. That's what was happening, and that's what did happen, and no one can disagree with that. No one can say that that didn't, because it did. We know that Dwayne went in, his agent and his brother, and negotiated some truce between Ten Hag and John Murtough at Carrington after what he did. Like, go in and be a man and deal with it yourself. You're the one who made the decision amongst all of your people. Surely Marcus Rashford has got a bit of backbone as well and won't bow down to peer pressure. I mean, he is the one who is funding everything for all of these people, after all. Just say, look, it's not right, and get him back. And if you have got the best interests of the football club at heart, then you would have stood up for yourself and made that stance and come back. But no. So when you hear stories like what Samuel Luckhurst is saying, when he's saying that Manchester United haven't done any real negotiations regarding Marcus Rashford, there'll be things going on behind the scenes. There are with every single player. That's just natural in football. It's just what happens behind the scenes. They have to prepare for the inevitable, or they have to prepare for the worst case scenario. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing their jobs. But when Marcus Rashford or his people, whoever it may be, and I don't know for certain, so I'm not going to say this is Rashford or his people. I think it's a combination maybe of both. His entourage or whatever have told Rashford that this is happening, it's being leaked, and Samuel Luckhurst has done his usual journalistic digging around and find out that the people of Rashford are not happy that United are talking about this. Well, are they? It's the media that's reporting everything that's going on. Manchester United shut down communication from the media on that day that it all happened. We know this because Samuel Luckhurst himself was the one that reported it. So really, you've got to look at what's happening right now is all caused by Rashford and his people. If they're the ones that advised him to take that interview, then they're the ones that have to take the flak, and they're the ones that have to deal with the aftermath that comes with it. Unfortunately for him, it has now led to this standoff between him and Ten Hag, and Ruben Amorim. And Ruben Amorim hasn't got a player like what Chris Wheeler says there. He wants in his squad. He needs a talented player in Marcus Rashford in his squad. But if he's not willing to work, which is clearly the case because Ruben's called him out for it, then there's nothing that we can do. There's nothing that Manchester United can do right now, or Marcus Rashford's representatives, or Ruben Amorim. If he's not up to standards, then he's not going to get in. And this is the stance that he has to take with every single player at the club. And he's done it with the biggest, and I think he will do it more often from here on in. So let's see if he does stand by this. I think he will, Ruben Amorim. He looks like that type of character, doesn't he? He really does. But yeah. On this, let's get into if Rashford couldn't make his own decision off the pitch, how can he make his own decision on the pitch? Says John. If Rashford now had 50% of the effort and desire that he had when he came in, there'd be no problem. Trouble is he hasn't got 5%. United and drama again, says Amir. It follows us everywhere, mate. It's just part of the club. We have to just go along with it. Over 800 in the room. Well over 100 likes already. Thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas, people. Let me know what you think of the hat. Does it suit? I had a Grinch one on last year, so I've upgraded to red and white, of course. United channel and all that. I think it's only right that we are actually keeping up the club colours as well while we're at it. Make sure you have subscribed as well, everybody. Andrew says, disappointed with what Martinez said about the match going fans, and Amorim said he felt the tension. What do they expect? We are bound to feel apprehensive. Yeah, exactly right, Andrew. Like the players have to do their bit. The fans have been doing their bit for years, backing these players when they don't even deserve the backing. So when Martinez comes out and says, or whoever comes out of the club, not just Martinez, they're disappointed in the fans. Like, seriously? Read the room. Honestly, United actually let these players get out and talk to the media or talk to people so they can realise what's actually going on right now. Jonathan says, the manager has to be resolute. I don't care how many bad results. Don't put Rashford back in the squad as a last hope. Fanbase needs to back the manager. 100% right from Jonathan. Dead right on that one. Geffen says Rashford does the interview, then complains about United talking to clubs about his sale. He says he wants a new challenge. I don't get it. No, we never will. We never will. And honestly, it baffles me how some players come out, or their people come out and bitch and moan about what's actually going on. Like, seriously, like, what do you expect? What do you expect? Everybody is asking if there's going to be a show on Christmas Day. Really? You want a show on Christmas Day? Is anyone actually going to be up and at it on Christmas Day? I have no idea yet what I'm doing on Christmas Day. I will do something. There will be some form of content going out on Christmas Day, but I will probably inform you all then. There'll only be one show, of course. Everyone needs to enjoy their day, including me. And I intend to enjoy Christmas Day. So, yeah, you let me know if you want a show on Christmas Day. Don't forget, it's our channel as well as mine. And Kaz's as well. Don't forget to make sure you consult Kaz in the live chat, please, everybody. I know what Kaz would say anyway. But listen, on that Rashford situation, that aside now, let's move on past that. We have got a poll running, and I did want to test people out with this one because there is the need for now, and then there is the look for the future. And by that I mean Manchester United striker options, because there are lots of stories going around about Victor Osimhen. So I've put a poll up. Just get involved in it. Please just vote on it. It's a simple, would you take Osimhen now or Gyökeres in the summer? One or two. It is tight. 51% of you are saying you'd take Osimhen right now instead of Gyökeres in the summer. I understand both sides of this one, I really do. But in terms of in terms of Victor Osimhen and what is actually going on right now, Manchester United are definitely in communication. So these are the stories that are coming out. Manchester United are already in contact with striker Victor Osimhen's representatives. Personal terms would not be an issue. The hardest part will be talking with Napoli, who will expect up to 62 million. United are ready to consider this transfer. That's come from Sasha Taglieri, who is an Italian journalist as well. Just going through a few more of these quotes right now and what's actually happening with Osimhen. And another interesting one here. Manchester United are set to ask Napoli for Victor Osimhen for less than the 62 million release clause. Osimhen's agent has been informed and he will be speaking to Napoli. That again has come from a Napoli source in Italy, another big channel. And you've got to just look at the situation right now, and it all leads to a deal with Marcus Rashford. The only way Osimhen happens is if Marcus Rashford leaves in January. I don't think there is any chance United could afford Victor Osimhen. So when it comes to it, and you can understand why Rashford's people are probably upset right now because it's backfired on them. They're not going to get the big club that they want. And if United somehow manage to get Victor Osimhen in or work out a plan that they can afford Victor Osimhen in, Marcus Rashford really is surplus to requirements, I don't know if we would go and try and make Osimhen happen first. Maybe a obligation with a loan for Victor Osimhen. I've heard that, and it has been reported, that the only way that Osimhen leaves anywhere, and obviously he's at Galatasaray, there is a clause in that loan deal from Napoli to Galatasaray that if a club came in January with 62 million, then Victor Osimhen would be able to leave Galatasaray early. So this is a very similar situation to what happened with Alvaro Fernandez. Not on the same scale, but he was at Granada the first part of last season. Then he came back to go to Benfica because Manchester United seen a deal financially that benefited them with Alvaro that wasn't there with Granada. So they negotiated a new deal with Benfica, which we all know now has happened, and United have that buyback clause within, which may be triggered again. But similar with Victor Osimhen and what's happening right now, Osimhen definitely a player Manchester United are interested in. We said the other day that Ruben Amorim was given his lists, and we don't know how true this was, but Osimhen was indeed on that list. He is an outstanding striker that is 10 times better than what we've got at the football club right now, striker-wise. And that's not to say that Højlund won't get there. I'm just saying in terms of right now, he gives you guaranteed goals. And that is something that Manchester United desperately need right now at the football club. And let's be honest, Manchester United, if an opportunity came to salvage the season in bringing in Osimhen, let's not forget he's probably going to be cup tied because he's played in the Europa League for Galatasaray already, so that is a bit of a dampener on the deal. But still, it's interesting to see where people are actually at via the poll right now. Let's just get that up. So again, even with what I've just said there, people still a bit undecided. 51% of you are saying you would take Osimhen now rather than going for Gyökeres in the summer. And I say rather than because I feel if United spend money on a striker now, it will definitely take away from the kitty, obviously, that we have got to spend in the summer. Now, the summer you can recruit a bit better. Everybody knows that. But can we turn down a deal for Victor Osimhen now? He is a player that United would obviously buy in the summer as well. He is that good. So if we can get him early, or should we get him early? I think that's the question you've got to ask. But into the chat we go. Thank you again, Honest Tiger, for that gifted membership as well. Love that, mate. Red Terry says, logically, Rashford / Osimhen swap deal. Rashi got Scotty McTominay there to help him settle in. Again, going down the swap road. I mean, we have talked about that with Barcelona as well, haven't we? There are definite options there. There is actually, let me just read this story that's just come out actually right now. Let me just see when this was released. So this literally 1 minute ago, just in from the Telegraph, Marcus Rashford wants to leave Manchester United. Like, obviously we knew that, but I'm wondering why this story has actually come out right now. James Ducker. Let me just see where this article has come from. It's a new one that's just come out 14 minutes ago, I think, in a whole write-up. Cancer Gym at Radcliffe and Manchester United fund the delivery of a world-class team and a world-class stadium, or is something going to have to give? A look ahead to the year to come. So there's a piece from Ducker on that. I'm guessing people are jumping off that and taking this quote from James Ducker from there. I'm just trying to find it right. It's come out on a few aggregator accounts right now, and I'm just trying to find out the source and where it's actually come from. Yeah, again, like I've just seen it come up on another one right now, James Ducker. So if something has happened and I can get the article up, I will. But a few different people, there's quite a few actually. I'm looking for the actual article here. I'm just trying to find it where it's come from. Telegraph. Marcus Rashford wants to leave the club. This is all over. Like when I say that, everybody says, well, we knew that leading a week ago. But I'm just wondering why it's come out now and it's going through everyone's social media accounts and just coming out now. Again, Marcus Rashford wants to leave the club. James Ducker. So I'm not subscribed to the Telegraph, so I cannot read the full article. But this is something that has just come out right now, which I'm reading on every single Manchester United account on Twitter saying the same thing. James Ducker of The Telegraph has done a piece saying Marcus Rashford wants out. Whether or not that is concrete, definite from the horse's mouth, and he's got some form of exclusive, I have no idea. I'm trying to find out right now what has happened with that. But that's just come out now, and why I've just switched across again and with attention to this. But I've just seen it on about 6 different Manchester United accounts. Rashford wants out. He wants to leave. Look, I was told yesterday in confidence that Ruben Amorim wants nothing to do with Marcus Rashford, and everything that he's saying is basically just to say the right thing to the media and the mainstream when he's been speaking to in interviews and so on and so forth. Behind the scenes, it's a different story though. Marcus Rashford, see you later. He wants gone. And just seeing this now with James Ducker saying he wants to leave, I'm waiting for more pieces from this to come out. Honestly, we're on the hunt and we're searching it out, everybody. But I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've seen 6 Manchester United accounts, 7 Manchester United accounts, all with the same story right now. No smoke without fire. Why would James Ducker drop this right now and say it with confidence like that? After we already sort of got the half-hearted story that Marcus Rashford wants out of Manchester United, Ducker has come out and said he's definitely gone. This is interesting simply because he is saying this now. It really is. Thanks for the gifted membership. The Saint has taken that from London. I love that, mate. Thank you. Almost at 200 live likes. Get them likes up, everybody. We're reading into the news about Marcus Rashford. The Rashford news is old now. Well, it's not, mate, to be honest, because we haven't got any confirmation. And before the night, Samuel Luckhurst was saying he was upset that people were reporting it. Now, James Ducker, another reporter who is constantly at Manchester United. I've seen him. I've interviewed him, actually. So I know that he wouldn't put anything out unless he had concrete information behind it. Is saying that Rashford definitely wants to leave. So in conversations and everything that's going on, Ruben Amorim, like we said in this show alone already, wanted him back in the team and just looking at players who want to play for Manchester United and give absolutely everything. Now we're getting a story come out instantly about 20 minutes later while we're live saying that Rashford wants out from James Ducker at The Telegraph. And they don't drop news stories like this without having something behind it. Not at this time of the day, this time of the year. It has to be big. I just feel like there is more and more coming out pushing Marcus Rashford out of the door. And I think this is why we're talking about Osimhen. I think this is exactly why the stories of Osimhen are coming out, because United look like they're actively trying to get a replacement for Marcus Rashford in January. It is quite substantial, that news coming out right now. I would not take either Gyökeres or Osimhen as immediate options. Edison from Atalanta should be the immediate priority. Look, we can get Edison and a striker, but we need a striker. So we cannot disregard Osimhen or Gyökeres. We need either one of them players in at Manchester United. I agree completely, because Edison is my number 1 target as well. So, yeah, I agree on that side of it. But we can afford to get 2 in. We do need a midfielder. We do more need a striker, because it looks like we've got a few of them leaving. And with the news coming out today as well around Mason Mount, and now being out for 10 weeks. Good God. Excuse me. 10 weeks would bring him back in March. The season is pretty much done. There's Mason Mount gone. There's Marcus Rashford that doesn't want to be part of this football club. Issues with Garnacho. There's 3, and I said this yesterday, 3 of his front line already out. United need to buy in January. Can we write off a season just like that because we have got issues within the squad? I don't think we can. I really don't think we can. And yeah, obviously we've just seen as well in the other news, like Sporting sacking their manager who replaced Ruben Amorim already, tells you an awful lot as to what is actually happening right now at the football club. It is absolutely wild, isn't it? I mean, what is going on? It's absolutely mental. I'm still trying to find out exactly what is happening with the Marcus Rashford stories which are going around. I'm just checking again now. Bear with me. Let's just see. We've got in here. Making sure. Right, okay. Nothing more to talk about. But yeah, I feel like unless you read into that story, you're not going to get the right information. But everyone's reporting it, and it seems a bit strange. But I also feel like, again, talking about Osimhen, Manchester United must have their eyes on other forwards as well. Like I just said, with Mason Mount, issues with Garnacho, obviously Marcus Rashford, the issue that we've got that we're talking about right now, all of that then definitely leaves Manchester United short. And we cannot, can we, as Manchester United, write off a season, surely? We have to fight for something. And you never know, if United could go on a bit of a run, you don't know, do you? Like, I pretty much gave up on my hopes and my claim to top four earlier on today after what happened at weekend. I'm really concerned about the mentality of these players. But that was with me not expecting anything to happen significantly in January. If we get a striker in of the quality of Osimhen who can actually finish chances, then things may change. I still think it might be a bit of a push now, but I was expecting to beat Ipswich. I was expecting to beat Forest at home. I was expecting to beat Bournemouth at home. But we haven't. And it's put us further back. So this is where it makes it very, very difficult. Glenn C has just renewed his membership. Thank you, Glenn. Legend, mate. He says, not sure the cup tied rule is in place in Europa anymore, as some players played for both clubs in the same competition last season. I hope not. I really do. Again, I think it, in terms of this deal and Osimhen possibly arriving at United, I think the cup tie bit falls into insignificance right now. I think United are desperate for a striker. Napoli will hold Manchester United to ransom, but maybe with the way that they dealt with Napoli over the Scott McTominay has put them in good in sort of good relationship with Napoli, and the deal could be made. I mean, you've got to look at things like that and take them seriously. Like, past dealings with clubs is definitely a positive if things have happened before. This is what we said with Atalanta and Edison and why United need to be attacking that. United obviously selling Scott McTominay, one of their academy players, pretty cheap and a good deal for Napoli, and he's doing very well. Maybe we could be saying to them again, like Laurie Whitwell said in The Athletic, can you start piecing a jigsaw together? When Laurie Whitwell said that Napoli might go for Harry Maguire, maybe United just say to him, look, you give us Victor Osimhen at the right price, then you can take Harry Maguire for nothing in the summer. We won't stand in your way. Or United could trigger that year extension to make sure that Harry can't decide where he wants to go, and then negotiate with Napoli and sell him on. Like, Harry would go if United said he was going. He's already said that. And if the club haven't said that, of course he's going to stay at Manchester United. But you have to remember, he did state that he was only going to leave Manchester United if the club wanted him to leave. So, yeah, let's just see. But there's a lot of things you can put in place and say in and around certain deals, and I feel like that's where we're actually at right now with all of this. Having a good relationship with Napoli is a big thing for United already to have in the bag if you're going to negotiate for Osimhen in January in particular. I think United would try and get him for a cheaper offer. What Galatasaray would think of that, I don't know. But needs must right now for United. Let's see if they do go out and flex their muscle in January. If he wants out, will he take a pay cut? That on Marcus Rashford from Fran with the super chat. Thank you, Fran. I don't know is the answer to that. Marcus Rashford is on a big-ass deal at Manchester United, as we know. And let's be honest, he isn't going to get a bigger deal anywhere else. Into the chat we go as well on this one. I'm pretty sure there's a deal for Gyökeres under the table already. Maybe, Imran. You never know. Don says, Kone same age now as Mainu was when he made his debut. True. But, again, some players develop later. Gyökeres couldn't get into Brighton's side. Had to go down to the Championship. Then found his feet. And all of a sudden, he's the best striker on the planet. Some people develop later than others. We have to remember that. Robert says, that's someone else, sorry. Mason Mount is injured until March. He has to be sold for whatever we can get in the summer. Jonathan says, I feel sorry for Mount. Blame the club for doing the deal. True. I said that all along. Agree with that. We should have kept McTominay, says Batman Knight fan. I don't know. Would Ruben have got more out of him? Maybe. If buts and maybes. The deal's done right now. I'd rather get Kvaratskhelia from Napoli. Yep, I would like him. I would still like Osimhen as well. Can we get both? Please. This Ducker story has come from one line, an opinion, not a quote, in his article. Don't get too excited, says Jay. Jay's read the article. There is a reason why these articles do go out, though. And what they do is put their little comments out early doors to then fall back on when the story breaks. So when they call it an opinion piece, and they do put these opinion pieces in their publications, it's to build up to something that's to come. So they're covering themselves right now with everything that's going on to hit the big time story and fall back on this and requote what they've already said to try and claim victory in it, if that makes sense. This is how it works. So this could in fact just be an opinion piece or someone saying a one-liner, but it could also be significant in that this is the sort of thing that happens before something big happens within the media. It happens all of the time. It does. Mr. Dacia Sandero says, definitely, Osimhen, we desperately need a striker right now. It depends how quickly we can offload Rashford, as it may not happen in January. Hopefully, Ineos are all over it. Let's see. Andrew says, why do we just spam off names? Our team needs to get organised before we bring anyone else into ruin. Well, I think the team is organised. I just don't think the players really are cottoning on to what Ruben Amorim wants. We can see what Ruben wants, and we know the type of player that has thrived under him before in what he's done. So maybe he already knows who he's going to be leaving. He knows who's good enough. And with the power of Ineos behind him to do what he wants, he'll be happy to let players sit out and try and get better at training and learn his system and bring other players in that can do it. This is what happens when building squad and squad depth as well. Dalot might not be sold, but he might be a part player that comes in and replaces other people within the squad if he wants to stay at United. If he wants to leave because of that, then Ineos take advantage of that and sells him on. That's how it's got to work as well. So when it comes to Manchester United not bringing in players, yes, I understand we need to bring in players off the value of selling other players. I think that's necessary right now for United because we haven't got any money according to accounts. But still, I don't think it's a case of just spamming off names and just saying we hope that they come for the sake of it. I think there is realness in what is actually happening with United right now, and I think Ruben knows what he needs already. It's up to United to go and get it for him. Do you think Rashford will get into the Villa starting 11? I don't think he gets into anyone above us starting 11. Maybe some. But honestly, right now, I said it before, the Saudi Pro League is Rashford's standard. He isn't that good. He isn't. That's the truth of it. He's not that good. Going back to a quote from earlier on as well, it said that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the United board will leave it up to Ruben Amorim to decide if Marcus Rashford's future is at the club. It has been made clear that Ratcliffe will not intervene with what is going on. That coming from the Times as well. We did say that one earlier on. But yeah, that's a story that's going around, doing the rounds again about leaving Ruben Amorim to decide. If we looked at that, then we could probably say straight away that is Marcus Rashford done, going off what he's done so far. But hey, we'll see. Osimhen on loan in Jan and go for Gyökeres in the summer. Never going to happen, Leo, I'm afraid. He can't leave Galatasaray unless someone comes in to buy him. 62 million for Osimhen is an absolute steal, says Luke Casey. Dalot has most minutes played in the Premier League behind Onana. Sell him, and who takes his minutes? Seriously, Red Allen? You want to use minutes used? Let's not forget, if you want to use minutes used, does that not obviously go towards our worst ever Premier League season with him being there every minute? And that a reason alone to possibly think about selling him? You know where I'm going with that one, don't you? Like, we shouldn't be thinking about who's going to fill minutes for a player that hasn't played well. We should be looking at someone to come into the team and replace a player that hasn't played well. That's how I look at it. Anyways, I don't get that one at all. Where are the academy players? I think, Shin, they're going to be coming in once other players have been moved on. Right now, I think there's going to be a lot of chopping and changing, players in, players out, and when it's settled, I think then we'll start to see an integration of academy players come through at Manchester United. I think that's where we're at. Just quickly, Manchester United, we touched on Mason Mount, 10 weeks, gutted about that. That's a disaster for the football club. But also, Manchester United's hygiene rating, again, 2 out of 5. Why is that? Well, apparently, an infestation of mice has been uncovered at Old Trafford. First, we had the chicken that couldn't be cooked. Now we've got Mises and Mices in Old Trafford. It is a circus. Honestly, like, there's mice in every stadium. There really is. I think this has been built up to be something of nothing. But it's real because the hygiene ratings are 2 out of 5 for a Premier League football club. It's a bit of a disaster. So there's mice and there's vermin is all over every single stadium. It's unavoidable. But it does look like Manchester United's hygiene rating is where it is right now because people coming in, inspectors coming in, have found mice droppings in and around food and areas you would really need a good sort of clean, hygienic area. That's the best way I can describe it, but it is quite comical. Like, seriously, United, like, what else can you throw at us right now that makes us look even more of a laughing stock? It is funny. You have to laugh in a way that if this doesn't convince the club that they do need a bit of a clean slate with a stadium as well. I'm not saying that the mice are there because Old Trafford's falling down. My issues with Old Trafford is that my knees are in the back of the head of the person sat in front of me. There is no bleeding room in the seats. And it doesn't cater for everybody. It's the most uncomfortable stadium in the Premier League, apart from Everton. I don't think there's any worse, to be honest. There really isn't. And United are miles behind it. That's why. But this hygiene report, again, it's just another cross across Manchester United, isn't it? Instead of it being a tick, another cross, another blot on the resume or whatever. And it just doesn't look good for the club, does it? It really doesn't. Anyway, we need to get some cats in, get them out. Leaf says, Anana, Bender, Heaton, Martinez, Maguire, Evans, Lindelof, Delo, Shaw, Malacia, Casemiro, Mount, Ericsson, Bruno, Garnacho, Rashford, Antony, Xerxes, wages per week, 2.65 million. Yeah, I've said this many times before. Look, all the players that are on big wages at Manchester United are not even in the first team. They are in the first team, but they're not starting games. Simple as that. That's the big damning fact at Manchester United and where money is being wasted. Our highest earners cannot get on the pitch. Sad, innit? It really is. But that goes to show what a real coach coming in thinks of the recruitment of years gone by of Manchester United. Does it not? It does, doesn't it? Because we've built these players up to be something that they're not. They're on wages that they shouldn't be on. A coach has come in that just wants to concentrate on football and looks at the squad and gone, what the hell is this shit? And all of our earners are actually not even getting into the starting 11 anymore, which is crazy for Manchester United. But that's the truth. Please give the video a like. We're almost at the 300 live like mark, everybody. Thank you so much. Keep them likes piling in. Just a few more to come. Make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV as well. We're trying to get as close as we possibly can to that 70k mark before the end of the year. Only 2 weeks left to go. Well, just under 2 weeks left to go. Pretty much till 2025 hits. How many can we get in the bag before then? Thank you if you have already subscribed. Welcome along new subscribers to the channel and everybody who has been involved. I'm going to end the show right there. I will be back on Christmas Eve morning with all of your updates as usual. The party doesn't stop. Just another working day here on Forever United TV tomorrow morning. Christmas Day won't be the same, but we will decide what we're going to do with Christmas Day and then talk to you about that later on. But for now, that is it from Forever United TV. Marcus Rashford apparently wants out of Manchester United. He feels like he's too big for the club. I'm only joking. They're just reports. Rashford's unhappy with the handling of the situation from the football club. United are in talks with Victor Osimhen's agent already and are looking to do a deal in January. Hold on to your hats, everybody. We could actually be having a very, very active January transfer window with ins and outs. We will see in good time. But that is it's for now. Thank you so much, everybody. Love you all. Make sure that you do give the video a like on the way out. We did just pass 300. Subscribe to Forever United TV, and I will see you first thing in the morning. Have a fantastic Christmas Eve, everybody, and I'll see you later.